Morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching this. So, we're going to start. I used to do this years ago. Just starting to do a council Coles Notes update following our Monday council meeting. So, you might see that on Tuesday, you might see it on Wednesday, you might see it on Thursday. It all depends on how busy I am and when staff can help me out and get at this. So, we used to do this before a lot, and I found it to be quite successful. We used to also have really good media coverage in High River that we could share on Facebook and these kinds of things where you could kind of get a bit of an update. We don't have that anymore. Facebook doesn't allow you to do those kinds of things anymore. And the media coverage in High River is just not where I need it to be right now. So in order to get this information out to people, so Michelle and I that's helping me out, we'll do it ourselves and we'll get it out to you. So I want to talk about how council days work. So on council days, every second Monday, you can check the schedule on highriver.ca. But there's two meetings that happen. At 1 o'clock is the committee of the whole meetings. The committee of the whole meetings is where pretty open discussion takes place on topics, and that's where staff get to come in with their thoughts. The council gets to ask questions, bring their thoughts, bring what they've heard into play. On Monday, if we have time, I like to invite those that are there in the public if they want to share their ideas, their thoughts, concerns, kudos, whatever it might be. We were able to do that on Monday a little bit. But that's where committee of the whole lies. Committee of the whole is discussion time. At 3 o'clock on Mondays, we move into regular council meeting minutes. And this is where the real business hits the road. This is where council debates specific topics, which may or may not have been on the committee of the whole that day. But this is where debate and decisions get made. That's at 3 o'clock. So if you're wondering, if you're hearing this, well, such and such, like I know High Country Drive was talked about that, oh, they're going to be talking about that on Monday. But I noticed a couple of people that showed up at the 3 o'clock meeting thinking High Country Drive was going to be discussed there, but it wasn't. It was discussed at the 1 o'clock. So Michelle and I have talked about, different ways that we can clarify on Facebook and other social media strings there, that just to make it clear as to what's happening at 1 o'clock and what's being discussed at 3 o'clock, just so it's easy for you guys. So I don't want to waste anybody's time. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to try to keep this going. Like I said, don't put your calendar to when this video is going to come out, because there's lots of stuff that's going on with all of us, and we'll get to it. So committee of the whole, November 10th, 2025. So there was a couple of 3 items that we discussed. One really big one though. But the first one we discussed was a property tax auction sale. So this is for a mobile home that's located in one of the trailer parks that the owner of it has not paid taxes for quite some time. So when that happens and we cannot get a hold of the owner, which is what's happening here, we've tried, reached out, they haven't contacted us. It's just feels like somebody's just walked away from the mobile home, and we're stuck with the taxes. So when that happens, we do go to a property tax auction. That's legislated law that we're allowed to do that to try to recoup the taxes. So so that's happening on November 28th. There's more information on all this stuff on our website if you're interested in that. The big one that we talked about was the infamous High Country Drive intersection, and this was a piece that I said during the campaign that we need a decision made on this, and we need to get at it right away. And so we did that in the first committee of the whole. But and that was really, we had Kaylee from engineering that's been leading this thing for council to bring the history of it, so that we have our 3 new councillors brought up to speed. As well as, kind of her thoughts on the design and everything, and how it works from an engineering perspective. then we were able to get council's input on it. So there's a lot of things that were talked about, and thoughts and ideas that council discussed. The primary number one reason for all of this is the safety of that intersection. First and foremost, that's the reason why it's happening. So High Country Drive is a very, very busy thoroughfare in the Northwest. It's the primary go-to place, so it holds a lot of traffic. We have had speed concerns in the past when we put the speed trap and the little radar out there that you've seen. It calculates and it stores the data of all the vehicles that go by and how fast they're going. So, but that intersection, because of the golf carts crossing, has always been a concern for council, and we just want to address it now. We're this far into it. I apologize for how long this has taken. It started, and then we want to do a whole corridor study, so that took some time, and now we're back here, and we'll get it handled. That's where we're at. The temporary things, they're ugly. They are not user-friendly. They got the hard curbs. You can't, if you hit them hard. And so we understand that that needs to get dealt with. So obviously we've played around with that cart crossing and the size of the bump outs and the angles of the bump outs. The bump outs are extremely important for pedestrian and golf cart safety because it brings, that street is so wide, and it brings the pedestrians and the golf carts more into the field of vision when you are driving down that road so that they can be seen. Same reason why the stop sign is going to come out, because it brings it into the field of vision. If you put them over onto that sidewalk, they're just too far out. They're too far over here, and we're worried about seeing. Councillor McGonigal brought up just a lighted stop sign. You know, that would absolutely get people's attention. I don't know how the residents would like to, I'd have to get feedback on that as to how that would work, because it gets people's attention, but sometimes gets a lot of attention. We talked about push buttons and just a simple lighting, flashing. There's issues there because it's not always used, and we really want, and the feedback I heard during the election is that people actually like the four-way stop. They don't like the bump outs. But if we're doing one, we kind of have to do the other one to do it properly and provide the proper safety. So, so we talked about a lot on that. Councillor Brookwell brought his ideas after he's gone through it and listened to engineering, and he had a great idea. And one of the previous renderings that we had was the north-south roads. Do they need the bump outs on them? And they really don't. The concern is High Country Drive. So that was one of the pieces that we landed on was, you know, let's remove the bump outs from those roads, because that's what can make it really tight in the corners. Councillor Cooey brought up the radius of the bump outs. Does it need to be as big as it is currently and shown on some of the drawings? Kaylee confirmed that no, we can trim those back a little bit and provide the same thing, because we all know that one corner when you're coming from the south and going to the east is tight. There's no question. Rolled curbs. If we do the bump outs, we can roll the curbs so that if it's tight and you need to kind of roll up and over them, not a big deal. So we can roll the curbs. The other one that came from one of the public comments was the separation of those two crosswalks. So you got the golf cart crosswalk right now, and then you got the pedestrian crosswalk, and then you got the stop line way back here. And it kind of feels, and trust me, I'm 100% agreement that you get to that stop line and the pedestrian one's way up here, the intersection's way up here, and it almost feels like you have to stop twice to get through that thing. So one of the pieces that we agreed on was that we were going to layer, and both crosswalks will be at the same. They will be moved up towards the intersection as far as we can, and have the stop sign in one spot so that it's very clear that that's the stop line, that's the crosswalk, and there's the intersection, away you go. Those are big decisions to be made. moving forward, you know, these things, yes, we absolutely, it's agreed on with council that we want to retain the bump outs, we want to retain it as a four-way stop, and again, this is because of safety is our primary number one concern. There was a comment brought from the public, well, where's the data, where's this, and I'm sorry, I don't need, I can see it, I don't need a death toll or anything like that to convince me that there's some safety issues on that intersection. I'm not waiting for that data. We have enough data from our speed traps and everything else that shows that we've got speed issues, and that being a two-way stop and just a fly through in there. There have been a number of near misses that we know about. There's been one really close near miss. I don't know that it was an actual accident with a school bus and one of the kids getting off the school bus at that intersection at some point in time. So that's number one. It's just safety, number one, and slowing the speed down, using the bump outs to create a bit of a pinch point in that intersection to so the drivers understand that it's a slower area through that intersection. I could go on and on and on about it. We're not done yet. The decision hasn't been made. We've sent our thoughts from committee of the whole back to engineering. Kaylee will do the work on that and get us an updated drawing and get us a budget associated with it. And she's going to bring that back to December council meeting so that we can make a decision on it. Because we can't make a decision until we have an actual drawing. We can't make a decision until we have a budgeted number to it. So that's where High Country Drive is. Lots of discussion, lots of passion in there from everybody, but in my mind, we had an excellent discussion, conversation about it. So that was all of committee of the whole. Then we moved into the regular council meeting. This one was really short meeting, simply because new council coming on board. We've been extremely busy with the amount of legislative training we all have to go through in a new term. So we've just been focused on that. So there wasn't a lot on this agenda for decision making. We did get one update again from Kaylee on the aquatics expansion, the new pool construction update. Lots going on. The exterior of it is pretty much done. I was by there this morning. Looks like they're filling in that final hole on the south with cinder blocks, so that'll get all closed in before winter here. The parking lot's going to be paved if it all isn't already done, but it should be paved fairly quickly here. So that exterior will all be done. There's a ton of work going on inside. That's where the big work's going. The old washrooms, the reception area, the lobby area, that's the demolition's all going on in there. The main wall between the two pools, that's gone. So it's starting to open up. We're starting to get there. A few dates that Kaylee, everybody's asking me, when's the pool going to be open? When's the pool going to be open? Well, I am not holding any of our staff or the contractor to any dates. My goal, whenever I've been involved in a project like this, my goal is that the project gets done properly and on budget rather than fast. So we don't want to be trying to speed things up and then 6 months down the road wishing that we'd, oh geez, if we'd have just waited another 2 months, we'd have been able to do this a little bit better. I don't want that discussion to be on the table. Do it right the first time and you're good to go. The new basin, the new pool, the water slide, and the kids pool, the hot tub, all those things, those are scheduled to be open kind of January 14th. Do not hold me on that. This is construction, and construction is messy. So, but that's kind of where we're headed. That's where it looks like right now. The full project completion, I'm not even going to read the date they gave us because I've been through this enough times that I'm going to say June sometime is when the full project completion is going to take place. They've got a little bit, a month and a half earlier than that, but I'm going to tell people we're looking at June as to when the whole project's going to be completely open When you're there, I just ask that you be careful, be safe. They've done a great job in making, in coordinating, blocking off where you can't go. You can't really get there, but just make sure you're cognizant that there's still construction workers coming in and out of that front entrance now because of the work they're doing in that lobby area. So just be patient. It's a real congested area in there right now. So that's where we are there. The last one was just a request from High River Legion, and it's branch 71. I think in the video of regular council meeting, for some reason the form that I was given said branch 77. I knew it was wrong when I saw it, but I still read it. I know it's branch 71 in High River. So they just wanted to make sure we had somebody walking the wreath up yesterday, which we did. Councillor Brookwell took care of that for us. And we also supported the Legion Poppy campaign with a $75 donation. That's all that happened in regular council. So we're gonna share this a few places, and you guys can get a quick update. If you want the full videos, highriver.ca, go to the council page, go to the council meetings, and you'll be able to get there. You'll be able to get right to the videos, and you can watch the whole thing. You can watch the whole discussion. We are live streaming the committee of the whole meetings now at 1 o'clock. There was a bit of a discussion during the election. I got my thoughts on it, but council was, I just want to make sure that it's the proper environment where we can have a wholesome discussion on and not hold back just because it's being live streamed. So, and I thought it went very well on Monday. So. Even on a contentious issue like the intersection is, I thought council, the public, and administration did a fantastic job respecting each other, and it worked great. So we'll continue to do it. That's about it. There's your updates. Check in. Take care. Bye.